Python is a great language for beginners. It is easy to learn and use. Python code reads like simple English. This makes it easier to understand than other languages. Python is also very versatile. You can use it for many things. People use Python for web development, data analysis, and more. Many resources are available to help you learn Python. There are websites, books, and online courses for all levels. Before you can start coding in Python, you need to have it installed on your computer. This is the very first step in your journey to becoming a proficient Python programmer. The good news is that installing Python is a straightforward process, and we will guide you through it step by step. Don't worry, it's a straightforward process. Whether you are using Windows, macOS, or Linux, we have got you covered. For Windows users, the first step is to visit the official Python website at python.org. This is where you will find the latest version of Python available for download. Once you are on the website, navigate to the download section. Here you will see an option to download the Windows installer. Click on it to start the download. After the download is complete, locate the installer file on your computer and run it. The installation wizard will guide you through the process. One important step during the installation is to make sure you check the Add Python to Path option. This will allow you to run Python from the command line. For macOS users, Python comes pre-installed on your system. However, the version that comes with macOS is usually an older one. It is recommended to install the latest version of Python from python.org. This ensures you have access to the newest features and security updates. The installation steps for macOS are similar to those for Windows. Download the installer from the Python website, run it, and follow the on-screen instructions. For Linux users, Python is usually pre-installed on most distributions. However, the version might not be the latest. You can check your Python version by opening a terminal and typing. This will display the current version of Python installed on your system. If you find that you need a different version, you can easily install it using your distribution's package manager. For example, on Ubuntu you can use the command. This command will download and install the latest version of Python 3 available in the Ubuntu repositories. Other distributions have similar commands, so be sure to check the documentation for your specific Linux distribution. Once you have Python installed, you are ready to start coding. Open a terminal or command prompt, type, and you will enter the Python interactive shell. From here you can start writing and executing Python code. Congratulations, you have taken your first step towards becoming a Python programmer. With Python installed, you are now ready to explore the vast world of programming and start building your own projects. Now that Python is installed, let's write our first program. This is a tradition in the programming world. It's a simple program that displays the text, "Hello World," on the screen. First, open a text editor and type the following line. Save the file as, open your terminal or command prompt. Navigate to the directory where you saved your file. Run the program by typing, "Congratulations, you've just run your first Python program." In programming, variables are like containers for storing information. You can give them names and assign values to them, for example, and. In this example, we created two variables, and. We assigned the string Alice to, and the integer 25 to. You can use variables in your code to perform operations or display information, for instance, and. Working with loops. Repeating actions. Loops are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. They are fundamental in programming because they allow you to automate repetitive tasks, making your code more efficient and easier to manage. This is useful when you need to perform the same action repeatedly. For instance, if you need to process items in a list or execute a function multiple times, loops are your go-to solution. Python has two main types of loops, for loops and while loops. Each serves a different purpose and is used in different scenarios depending on the task at hand. For loop A for loop, iterates over a sequence of items. This sequence can be a list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set, or even a string. For example, to print numbers from 1 to 5 for I in range, 1, 6, print I. This loop will print the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sequentially. This loop will print the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The range function generates a sequence of numbers and the loop iterates over this sequence, executing the print statement for each number. A while loop repeats a block of code as long as the condition is true. This is particularly useful when the number of iterations is not known beforehand. For example, to print even numbers less than 10 number equal. sign 2, while number 10, print number. This loop will continue to execute as long as the condition number 10 remains true. Number equals sign number plus 2. This line increments the value of number by 2 in each iteration, ensuring that the loop progresses and eventually terminates when the condition is no longer met. Understanding and mastering loops is crucial for any programmer. They not only make your code more efficient, but also open up a world of possibilities for automating tasks and handling large data sets with ease. Whether you're working with simple scripts or complex algorithms, loops are an indispensable tool in your programming toolkit. Functions are blocks of code that perform a specific task. They help organize your code and make it reusable. You can define your functions or use built-in Python functions. To define a function, use the keyword followed by the function name and parentheses. For example, def greet name. Print, hello, name plus, greet Bob. This code defines a function called that takes A as input and prints a greeting message. Everyone makes mistakes when they're learning to code. It's a natural part of the learning process and something every programmer goes through. The key is to not get discouraged and to learn from these mistakes. Here are some common beginner errors and how to fix them. Understanding these can save you a lot of time and frustration. Syntax error. This means you've made a mistake in the structure of your code. It's one of the most common errors you'll encounter as a beginner. Check for typos, missing colons, or incorrect indentation. These small mistakes can cause your code to break, so it's important to pay attention to detail. Name error. This occurs when you try to use a variable or function that hasn't been defined. It's like trying to call someone by a name they don't recognize. Make sure you've defined it before using it. Double-check your variable names and ensure they are spelled correctly and defined in the right scope. Type error. This happens when you try to perform an operation on incompatible data types. It's like trying to mix oil and water. For example, you can't add a string to an integer. Always ensure that the data types you are working with are compatible with the operations you want to perform. Remember, Google is your friend. The internet is full of resources and communities ready to help you out. If you encounter an error, don't hesitate to search for solutions online. There are countless forums, tutorials, and documentation that can guide you through almost any problem you might face. Happy coding! Congratulations on reaching this point. You've learned the basics of Python programming. Now it's time to continue your journey and explore the vast world of Python. Here are some resources to help you. Official Python documentation. The official documentation is a comprehensive resource for everything Python. Online courses. Platforms like Codecademy, Coursera, and Udemy offer excellent Python courses for all levels. Books. There are countless Python books available for beginners, intermediate learners, and experts. Online communities. Join Python communities like Reddit's r, Learn Python, or Stack Overflow to ask questions, share your knowledge, and connect with other learners. Learning to code opens up a world of possibilities. With Python, you have a powerful and versatile language at your fingertips. Embrace the learning process, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and never stop exploring.